What's going on? Wait a minute. Did this thing start? Oh, well, if it did, oh well. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? This your boy, Jamar84. And despite my greater judgment, I'm going to try this just like the audio situation that we have with the scary stories. We're going to try one of these with just the audio, okay? We're going to try to use our imaginations, okay? Because there's a lot more of these than, of course, there are of the animated stuff, so I hope this works. I hope I can still get the same kind of effect from it. I hope I did it, and I hope you guys get it as well. So I picked this one because well, I guess it's not recent anymore, but I graduated from college. It is now what, 4 years ago? Is it? Yep, 4 years ago. So I was like, I feel like I would be able to relate to these, you know. So we're gonna try to watch these scary stories and hope that I'm doing this in the daytime this time. I ain't no no bam no bam no bam. If I have to go to my own imagination, I can't be doing it in the nighttime. So let's watch these and let's get it popping. Let's see how this goes. Pray that it goes well. Bitch, what? Okay. Oh,
I had just finished unpacking all of my stuff into my room, and my family had just left. Later on that same day, my roommate finally arrived, and right from the get-go, I knew this kid was the most socially inept person I'd ever met. I introduced myself as Dan, staking out my arm for a handshake. He paused, looked down at my arm as if he didn't understand at first, then laughed and went, "Oh," and gave me an almost dead fish handshake. I had to ask him for his name since he didn't even tell me when we shook hands. He was Dale. I tried to make small talk, but he just answered my questions with yes or no's, occasionally awkwardly laughing or smiling. Within minutes, we were both just sitting on our beds, on our laptops, not talking to each other. I was upset and planned on requesting to be placed with a different roommate. Anyone would be better than Dale. I thought Dale was just a really awkward kid, but I soon learned he was much more than just that.
girl.
I met some of the other kids on my floor and they seemed cool, so that was good. I came back to my dorm after looking around campus the first night to find Dale still in the same position he was in when I left. I said, "What's up, Dale?" and he didn't answer. Not to my surprise. It was 9:30, I didn't have anything to do, so I turned out the lamp on my side of the room and went to bed. I didn't actually fall asleep anytime soon though. Dale was on his laptop until 3 in the morning. When he finally closed his laptop, I fell asleep pretty quickly, but I woke up within the hour. The blinds to our room had been opened, and the moonlight now creeping into the room made everything visible, including Dale sitting on the side of his bed, looking at me.
See, no, 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 no. Now, as this is playing, I'm trying to just give in a visual myself as I'm going. First, if you have ever been to a college dorm for the first time, freshman year, and you meet your roommate for the first time, it is a it's almost like a gamble. Like you're going in, first of all, you're already in a new school, you're in a whole new environment that you're unfamiliar with, and then you kind of have to play the cards to see, okay, what kind of person am I going to have to spend close quarters with for long periods of time, share my space, my air, you know, all these things in this tiny room. And he's already, baby, getting with somebody who's what, laying up next to him or laying up looking at him in the middle of the night. I had to call my parents, but like, I'm coming back home. This was a mistake. I have to explore different options, bitch.
I sat up, rubbed my eyes, and said, "Dale, what the hell are you doing?" He whispered back, "Sorry," and laid down. The next morning, I woke up to find Dale had already gotten up. I felt like it was the first time he left the room. It was a Saturday, the first Saturday of the year, meaning orientation and all the campus festivities. During the orientation, as my group was walking by the school gardens, I heard a couple of students ahead of me saying, "What is that kid doing in there?" I saw who they were talking about. It was Dale, literally sitting in the dirt behind a patch of bushes, rubbing the bark of a tree with his hand. The orientation leader didn't notice, otherwise I'm sure she would have said something. I just walked by not saying anything, eventually telling the two kids I overheard that he was my roommate as a way to start a conversation and maybe make some friends. They apologized for me. None of us really knew if it was appropriate to laugh or not, but we did. I made friends with those two kids, and we made plans to get together that night. I also learned when I got back to my dorm that the school found another roommate for me. Things seemed to be turning around quickly for the better. I left the room that night to go meet up with the two kids I met, and when I got back, Dale was sitting on the desk chair facing the door. I said, "Oh, hey, what's up?" He said nothing, very matter-of-factly. I sat down on my bed and opened my laptop, and realized I forgot to lock it. I also realized that all of my emails had been opened. Emails I was pretty sure I didn't even read, and a bunch of folders of mine had been opened.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. First of all, I hope this thing is loud enough because it feels like it's very low on my end. I hope the audio is still good for you guys. But this, see, this is another thing. You in a brand new space with a brand somebody you do not know, and you have to leave all of your personal belongings at their will. They could let people in. You don't never know what's going on. That's one of the problems with roommate. That's where you have to. It's very important to try to build as cordial of a relationship as you can with your roommate, because going through my stuff, opening my personal stuff, nah. That's how people get into fights. That's how people get kicked out. It's just a problem that don't nobody want to have. Okay, so that is one of my pet peeves. I can tell y'all all day about all the crap that I went through with roommates. Are you out here digging around? I'm gonna feel like he's sacrificing chickens or some shit.
Dale must have snooped through my laptop. When I asked him if he did, he responded no very loudly, half a second after I even finished my question. I could read him like a book. This creepy kid was literally going through my computer when I was out. I knew he did it, but I didn't pursue it. I was ready to go to bed, so as I went into my bed to look for my pajamas, I felt like my clothing had all been moved around as well. I knew I'd be out of there forever by tomorrow, so I didn't say anything. I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of a zipper. I sat up and saw Dale on the ground, going through my bag. I turned the lamp on, this time confronting him about it.
Bitch.
He played dumb, saying, "I think you have my toothbrush by mistake." It was the close.
You think I have your toothbrush? Really? First of all, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to rewind this. Cause didn't he say it's like 3 a.m. or some shit? Why are you running to brush your teeth at 3 a.m.? Hold up.
I turned the lamp on, this time confronting him about
Wait, what time did he say it was?
I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of a zipper.
In the middle of the night? Why are you looking for a toothbrush in my stuff in the middle of the night? Seems to me that you could have waited till we both were up in the middle of the day and then be like, hey, have you seen my toothbrush? Especially since I already tried to confront you for checking through my stuff already. See? But then again, you almost don't want to confront people who are kind of crazy, though, because you never know what they're going to do. You know, they might come and try to chew your arm off or some crazy stuff like, pick your battles, bitch.
I sat up and saw Dale on the ground, going through my bag. I turned the lamp on, this time confronting him about it. He played dumb, saying, "I think you have my toothbrush by mistake." It was the closest thing to wits that he'd shown up until that point. Still, I knew he was lying, and I knew something was wrong with him, so I couldn't get physical with him. The next day, I met my new roommate in the same building, and everything went well. Sunday night, after having a decent conversation with my roommate, who was no social butterfly, but was miles better than Dale, we both turned off our lights and went to bed. For the third night in a row, I woke up at some off hour of the night to a strange noise. It was a weird clicking noise. It wasn't consistent, but I'd hear it at least twice every 30 seconds. I got up, hoping to find something innocent, like a heavy bag putting pressure on a weak floorboard, or even a mouse. But as I scoped out the room, I realized the sound was actually coming from the other side of the door. The nightlight in the common area was always on, so when I looked through the peephole, I was able to see the scalp of the person standing on the other side of our door. They were looking down, so I couldn't see their face, but now that I was paying attention, I realized the tiny clicking noises were actually coming from the doorknob. I was sure the person was trying to unlock the door. I dialed the number for the campus police department, and they showed up in under 5 minutes to the common room, and only then did I feel it was safe to open the door. I found the officers to have Dale in cuffs. I had a feeling it was him. I told them everything, that he was my former roommate who was going through my stuff, so I switched dorms, only to find him trying to break into my new dorm. They took him away. I don't know what happened to him after that, but I never saw him again. He either got suspended for the semester or expelled. I got through the rest of my years at university like anybody else. However, the nightmarish experience I had with Dale still pops up in my head every now and then.
No, ma'am. Crazy. Lord Jesus, that man was probably trying to get
I went to Binghamton University for 2 years. I quickly made a big group of friends there, and we'd go out every weekend. One weekend on a Friday night in October, when my group didn't have any big plans together, me and 2 other close friends decided to hang out in the school nature preserve by the lake. There was this little clearing on the far side of the lake that was convenient for fires. Since it was so far from view of the school or campus security, kids would sometimes, but not often, come here to smoke pot, drink, and do basically all the other drugs. It was a relatively unknown spot on campus by most, and we liked that about it. Tonight we just brought a bunch of beers, lit a fire, and hung out, having what we referred to at the time as a bro chat.
I don't trust any woodland area at night that's far away from civilization. I don't trust it. Hell, I barely trust it during the day. But yeah, nah, ain't no, hey, bro, you want to come out to this spot? You know, we gonna meet some friends, drink some beers, and have some fun and smoke some pot in the middle of the night? Nah, I'm cool, bro. I'll stay in my dorm room and watch Family Guy.
As the night progressed, time seemed to pass quicker as the alcohol began to take effect. Eventually it got to the point where we were all laughing so hard that one of my 2 friends was on the floor rolling in the leaves. That was when my other friend stopped laughing and went, shh. We all perked up and listened, and heard the crunching of leaves and branches in the distance. We threw our bottles in the lake since we were all under 21, and it wasn't unheard of for campus police to come through the woods on weekends to catch kids doing drugs. We tucked the rest of the beers into a backpack. I was moderately drunk, so my paranoia was higher than usual. That was probably the case for all of us. The fire exposed us to anyone passing through the woods. But the thing is, this spot was so unknown and far from campus that it was rare to find anybody else that deep into the woods. It sounded like just one person in the distance. The sound of a tree branch snapping not too far away freaked all of us out.
Bitch.
None of us were really the confrontational ones from our group, so we were lacking that one person who would have the confidence to stand up and yell out to whoever was out there. Instead,
I'm gonna assume that everybody in this group must be black because I'm not about to try to get the attention of something making bumpy noises in the woods now. Just the fact that they're even in my vicinity, I'm gonna shut up and quietly exit stage left. I don't need to yell out and be like, who's there? Knock, knock, none of that. None of that needs to be going on. What you need to yell out to it for? If you're trying to hide and not bring attention to yourself, why, Sway?
we all just sat in silence, shushing each other. We heard what seemed to be somebody or something circling us, or at least walking around in a C shape around our little campsite. It literally started to feel like we were in the movie The Blair Witch Project. because these sounds in the near distance, like cracking tree branches and leaves crunching on the ground, kept echoing over to our campsite. We laughed about it at first, but I personally soon became terrified of who or what it could be. Out of the blue, a huge thud made all three of us jump. At first I didn't
Shit, me too.
understand, even though I saw what caused the sound. It took me a few seconds to digest the fact that a branch had been thrown into the center of our little fire site.
No.
One of my two friends took off running, while my other friend and I sat behind, looking at each other, half laughing, half concerned.
Ain't nothing funny. What you laughing for? A mysterious being just sent a branch and throw it into y'all, and you laughing? What's the key? Your other friend was the one who got some sense, who got the heck out of Dodge. But then again, well, I'm torn about that because then it's like, okay, do I run off into the woods by myself at night, or do I try to stay with the group? But on the one hand, the group may be stupid and get caught. Decisions.
I feel like we didn't know yet if this was some kind of joke or not.
I ain't playing.
Then, my friend let out a scream of pain as he was struck in the face by another tree branch.
Oh,
I grabbed the backpack, helped my friend up off the floor, and we hauled ass back in the direction of our dorm. When we made it to the road separating the nature preserve from our dorm, we stopped to catch our breath. But whoever was out there proved to be following us when we heard footsteps coming closer to the road. We continued to run back to the dorm, and when we got back to our floor, we found our other friend in his room already.
hell
We
yeah.
looked out of his room window down to the woods. There was someone pacing back and forth by the woods, and every time a car passed, they would walk back into the woods. Eventually, whoever it was went back into the woods for good, to never be seen again by us. We continued our drinking session in the dorm room, and within 10 minutes, we were all laughing about it.
First of all, if something like that happened, I'm spooked. Okay, my buzz is gone. I'm ready to go to bed. I want to call my mama. I'm not about to be. Y'all ain't about to sit here. We just about to be laughing and kikiing after we just got potentially stalked by some crazy person. No, 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 no.
It wasn't until the next morning that we all realized how terrifying that experience actually was.
Yeah,
We never really went back into the woods past dark after that.
you shouldn't have went out there in the first place. Shoot.
This takes place during the first week of school, my freshman year at the University of Iowa. I was just starting to get comfortable with my roommate. He was dedicated to the idea of rushing a fraternity, and rush week was starting the next week, but the parties were starting Thursday of the first week. My roommate didn't want to go alone because it would be harder to meet people that way, so he wanted me to go. I happily agreed to go with him. Even though I had no interest in rushing a fraternity, I still had intentions to go to parties. After all, I was attending a party school. My roommate wanted to go to one frat party on Thursday, and then parties at different frat houses on Friday and Saturday. On this Thursday night, we were headed to perhaps one of the lowest ranked frats. I'm pretty sure it was an underground one too. But his logic in attending was to have a backup frat in case the higher ones wouldn't give him a bid. The frat house was really far from campus, in a much more slummy downtown area. We pulled up to a corner house, and if it weren't for the blasting music and cars parked everywhere, we would never picture this house as a frat house. It literally looked like they settled with the first house they found. We knocked on the door to immediately be greeted by some short, chubby guy in a white t-shirt holding a Solo cup. His shirt had sweat stains by his armpits and mid-belly area. He told us to come right in. The party itself was in a horribly dimly lit room with probably 50 guys bunched up into the living room. It was hot as hell in there to make it even worse. I think I saw maybe 2 girls at the entire party, neither of them even close to attractive. I gave the party a good 20 minutes, talking with one overweight.
Oh, not even remotely attractive. Okay, so here's the thing. Run far away, because first of all, let me tell you these 3 strikes here with this situation. First, we've already gone like on outskirts to some low down looking house. That's one. Secondly, we was greeted by a man with titty sweat. That's two. And three, you have a whole bunch of people, guys. He said about 50 guys or 50 people. Okay, I just heard somebody scream outside and I'm listening to scary stories and that's not cool. It's in the middle of the day, so okay. Anyways, 50 guys or however many and only two girls and they both busted. This is a sex party. This is a sex party. They're about to have a choo-choo train ran on their because think about it. Think about it. If this is not an LGBT friendly party, what is the meaning of there being 50 guys and only two females? What they gonna do? I'm just saying.
Foreigner after another, all giving off antisocial vibes. Eventually, I waved for my roommate to get ready to leave, but a huge group of guys by the door made us decide to wait a little longer to avoid the awkwardness of leaving early.
Nah.
I continued to drink the cheap beers they were serving. I think I downed 5 cups before I could even feel the buzz. A heavy guy approached me with a tiny bottle in his hand and handed it to me, smirking and saying, "That'll get you shit-faced."
Don't trust nobody that you do not know. And this is for real. Do not trust nobody that you do not know at a party to hand you something that you didn't see them pour, where you didn't see it pour from, or what they did to this cup. Never to accept that shit because you could be roofied, you could be date rape drugged, you could be Bill Cosby, you could be some of anything. Like, do not ever just be like, oh, thank you, and then pour it into the nearest flower pot.
I fake laughed and thanked him, expecting him to go away, but he just watched me as if he were waiting for me to drink it.
Nah. Look, okay. Let's say they do that. Let's say that you can't, toss it out. This is risky. You can put it in your mouth and then like kind of motion your throat as if you just swallowed and then run to the bathroom and spit it out. Because I guess if you at least put it in your mouth, you'll kind of get him to be like, okay, I'm satisfied. Let's see what he does. Let's see how smart he is.
So, I did. It was maybe 2 shots worth of some kind of hard liquor. The guy then started making conversation with me, and every time I hinted that I was trying to get away, he would try to pull me further into this otherwise one-sided conversation. Things started to get really blurry pretty soon. I remember feeling dizzy all of a sudden, and the room seemed to be getting darker. That was the last thing I remember before waking up in a dark room, laying in a bed.
Mm-hmm.
I could hear the sound of music muffled behind closed doors, so I knew I was still in the frat house. It was a very dark room, however I could still make out certain furniture in the room, and a small closet door, not much else though. But even over the blaring music, I heard the sound of a plastic bag being crunched from the closet, as if somebody had stepped on it by mistake. I ran out of that room and down the stairs back to the overcrowded living room. I found my roommate and pushed him out the front door, past the group of guys still standing in a circle right next to it. During the car ride back to campus, I told my roommate I was drugged. He almost called the cops, but I said it would be foolish and pointless. My roommate then asked me an awkward question. Was I taken advantage of? I didn't feel any type of pain, and my clothes were all still on the same, so I assumed not.
Mm-hmm.
When I did a time check, I realized I'd only been out for maybe 10 minutes before waking up. Whatever the guy gave me must have been a dud or something, thank God. That was my college experience of attending an underground ghetto frat party, and it remains to be my scariest life experience.
See, this is why you do not accept liquor or any foreign just drinks from strangers. I'm telling you.
I had a single dorm my first semester of sophomore year. It was in the corner of the floor, kind of secluded from the rest of the dorm rooms, since it was in its own little section. You had to turn a corner to even see the door. It was nice because I'd be able to still talk with friends on my floor, invite people over to my room, and still have privacy when it was time to do homework or go to sleep. A few weeks into the semester, while studying for a bio exam, the silence was interrupted by a noise. It took me a bit to realize it was a light tapping on the door. It was so light that I almost didn't even hear it. I yelled, "Come in," but the door didn't open, so I got up to open it. Nobody was there. I walked around the corner to look down the hall. Nobody. Somebody was obviously messing with me. I went back to my bed and continued studying, this time leaving the door open. Nobody came back.
Why would you leave your door? Some of y'all, I just, I don't understand the logic. If I'm hearing mysterious tapping in my house, in my dorm room, ain't nobody else around, and then, for whatever reason, I decide to get up and actually open the door, you then leave it open for whatever mysterious figure or character to come into. Is it me? Am I just being overly paranoid? Let me know, because I don't think so.
The next night, a few minutes after shutting the lamp in my bedroom to go to bed, the tapping on the door returned, only this time it was much louder, more of a knocking sound. I called out, "Who is it?" and again the knocking stopped and nobody answered. I got out of my bed quickly and opened the door to see my small private corridor was void of any people. Again, I ran the 10 feet from my door to the corner to look down the main hallway of the floor. Nobody. The
Nah.
next morning, I asked some of the other kids in the dorm if they had been messing with me. Everyone said no.
Mm-mm.
The next night, I woke up after having been asleep for 3 hours.
Oh, nah.
Someone was knocking on my door again, this time louder than ever. I had trouble deciding whether to open the door or not this time. With a bout of courage, I hopped up and opened the door. Nobody was there as I was expecting, but this time
I just had to sit there and let him knock and just call the police. This hell, I'd stay at somebody else's place for a little bit, cause now, like that corner would be kind of like okay, it would seem like a good idea, but then at the same time, it's kind of secluded, so it's kind of creepy. And when stuff like this be going on,
time I full-on sprinted down the tiny corridor isolating my room, and when I turned the corner, I saw the back of somebody disappearing behind the far corner on the opposite side of the hallway. I ran as fast as I could down the hallway, and as I turned to the next hallway where I saw the person a few seconds earlier, I saw a door at the end of the hallway shutting. It wasn't a dorm room, it was a bathroom. I felt like I was ready to confront whoever this joker was, so I pushed open the bathroom door with force. The light was off. I turned it on expecting to see somebody hiding in there, but I didn't see anyone. My first instinct was to check the 2 bathroom stalls, which were both shut. I got on my hands and knees and looked under the 2 stalls. 2 heavy black boots could be seen from underneath one of the stall doors. I took a deep breath and pushed the stall open. I was confused. There were the boots sitting on the floor, but no person to wear them. And then I heard a creepy giggling noise.
oh, girl. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. I'd leave. I'd have to like, you know what? I withdraw. It's been real. It's been a great first week or however long I've been here. But there are phantom people knocking on my door in the middle of the night and giggling and laughing and kikiing, and I can't see them. It's the invisible man. I ain't got time for it. I'm outie. Mm-mm. No, no, no. I'm for real. What?
Not a feminine or childlike one. It was a kind of laughing that I could only imagine to be that of a really old crazy man. For some reason, my confidence was gone, and I was scared shitless.
Yeah.
Therefore, I ran back to my room and shut the door. I hopped back in my bed and started texting every friend I had. Of course, everybody was asleep, though. The knocking happened one more time that night. I ignored it.
Nah, fuck texting. I'm calling the police. Hell. Screw that.
It went on for about 30 seconds before whoever that person was finally gave up. I spoke to everybody on my floor the next day. Nobody else heard any knocking, and everybody swore they weren't pranking me. Everybody seemed sincere. I don't know why this person chose to harass me, or who this person was. Judging by the boots and the laughing I heard, this was an older man though, and that disturbs me.
Bitch. Baby. I mean, this was cool. This is almost worse because I have my own imagination of what this would look like, and it's almost scarier than seeing somebody draw it out for me in a. Okay, this could work. I'm baby no. That last one, man, no ma'am. Not at all. Not on today. But thank y'all so much for watching. I wanted to find, a nice lengthy one because the last, I think, couple were really short. So let me know what you guys think of this format. Babe, I'm glad I did this in the daytime. I'm never doing these kind of things where I have to imagine the shit myself at night. Absolutely not. So thank you guys so much for watching. Baby, leave your comments. Spread the love. Share it on all across social media. Don't let this be your own little guilty pleasure to yourself. Share it with your friends. Yeah, I'm ready to cut this off. Bye, y'all.